Hey guys, and welcome back to Studying Smarter. Today I have definitely a different video. It is January 1st. Happy New Year's, everybody. And I figured it was very fitting for the first day of the new year, 2020, to talk about my journey and my academic journey in particular, and really address my mindset and how I am going into 2020 and this new school year, trying to change how I see my college career. So let's just jump right in. This is definitely going to be a lot more vulnerable video, but I think that it's necessary because I think that people will be able to really relate to it, and it might also help me work through the feelings that I've had for the past 4 years, and try to see any growth that I can do in the next coming year. So I'm excited. Let's jump right in. So I guess what I want to start off is something that I would tell myself, my 18-year-old self, right out of high school, 2016, when I graduated. I would tell her that college does not look the same for everybody. Everybody is on a different path, and there's no right way to do college. There's no prescribed path for everyone, and I think that if I had told myself that, I could have saved myself a lot of heartache and a lot of crying and a lot of confusion, because I think that I was comparing myself and my journey to the people that were around me, and you just can't do that because everybody's different. So that's definitely what I would tell myself. So a little, I guess, background on my high school academic career. I went to the fifth best high school in Florida. It is number 47 nationally. It was tough, but I think what that produced was a student body who were driven, especially as we got from like 10th, 11th to senior year, because it weeded out a lot of people that didn't have that mindset. So by the time senior year was rolling around, the people that were still there were people that worked hard and put in the work and wanted to be there, wanted to go places and do things. Not that if people didn't make it through this high school and transfer somewhere else that they weren't driven. Definitely it wasn't for everybody, but the friends that I did have around me were so focused. I mean, I have friends that got full ride scholarships to Harvard, who are in grad school right now. I mean, like, it's just insane the things that I have seen from like the people that I've graduated with. But with that, I found with myself that I didn't feel smart enough or good enough or capable or any of those things, because I was just comparing myself to the people around me. And when it got to senior year and it was time to start applying to colleges, I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and I felt like everyone else around me knew exactly where they were going and exactly, like, they had this dream school in mind. I never really had that. So that was hard because I felt like I wasn't living up to everyone else. So I applied to a university in state, and then I had gotten a 5 on my AP psychology exam, and then I was really into criminal minds, so I was like, why not criminology? I could totally be like an FBI agent or something, like a criminal profiler, I don't know. So I just applied, I got in to this specific school, and I went to orientation. I was going to start in the summer semester of 2016 because I graduated in June. And so classes were starting like super soon. I went to orientation. It was like an overnight ordeal, and I just, it was not for me. I could just feel it. Like, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like I belonged. Like, shortly after that, like, I went home, and just in the weeks before I was like gonna move in, I was just like crying all the time, and I was just really upset, and I just didn't really know why I was like freaking out so much. Like, I was just had so much anxiety about just leaving home. It was only like a 4.5 hour drive home, so like I definitely could have did that in like a day, like a weekend or something. But still, I just like was not having it, and I ended up withdrawing. I didn't even start classes, and then that is definitely the turning point. um, I was supposed to be graduating with my bachelor's degree in 2020. So all of my friends right now are graduating like spring semester. This upcoming semester, they are graduating college with their bachelor's degree, and I am not. And it's because after that I went on this journey of trying to find what to do next, because all of my friends were starting school in the fall of 2016, and I wasn't. I had no idea what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. It was too late to actually apply anywhere at that point. So I decided to take the semester off and just look for places to go. I ended up going on a mission trip with my church to Thailand. And shortly after that, people were talking about this church that had a university connected to it in Texas, where like a lot of worship leaders had gone, and I love to sing. I thought that at the time that maybe I was called to be a worship leader. I wasn't really sure like exactly the path, so I was just trying out things and trying to see where I fit in. So I applied to this school in Texas, and I auditioned, and I ended up getting in, and I applied for the spring of 2017. So already that puts me pretty much a semester behind everyone. And 2017 was rough. I was 16 hours away from home. I was still a kid. I still am a kid. I didn't know how to be by myself. I was living with two girls. They didn't have on-campus living, so I was living off-campus in like a duplex with these two girls. They were amazing. They were awesome. I'm actually still friends with one of them, and that was awesome. But it was tough. It was so tough. School was fun, but definitely I knew within like the first 2 months that this definitely wasn't the direction that I was going, wasn't the direction that I wanted to go in. I love church, I love God, I love worship, but I didn't see myself pursuing it as a career, and I felt like I was wasting my time, which now that I think about it, it definitely wasn't a waste of time. I made so many relationships there that I still hold really dear to my heart, and I learned so much in that like 6 month period being away from home. My parents and I struggled a lot while I was in Texas, because I just was trying to find myself. I was trying to find how to be away from them and find that balance and find the boundaries. And it was really tough. we actually went through like a period of like 2 to 3 months where I didn't speak to them. And honestly, I think that time brought us closer in the end, because I think we both, me, my mom, my dad, we all realized that like we we can't we can't let it get that bad. We can't let our relationship struggle that much. We have to work through whatever problems that we have. We had to have open communication. To be going through what I was with my family while also trying to figure out my place, because I knew that while Texas was exactly where I was supposed to be at this time, that it just definitely wasn't long term at all. So trying to figure out what my next steps were, I felt like for the entire 2017 I was at a crossroads. I would try one thing and then realize it wasn't for me, so I would try to find something else, and I was just constantly just at this state of like unrest. On top of that, I was on social media seeing all of my friends thriving in like their second year at that point in college, and honestly I hadn't even like started a full degree. And I just felt like, what is the point anymore? Why am I doing this? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Like, why? What am I supposed to do? Who am I supposed to be? How do I measure up? Like, I felt like I was a failure. I felt behind. I felt confused. I didn't know why this was happening to me. I was like, I thought I planned this out. I thought that this was like the path that I was supposed to take, and then nothing was falling into place for me. Nothing felt right to me. And what I realize now, looking back, is that I think that I had a lot of courage. I could have easily stayed at the first university and just pushed through, honestly, like not completely felt like this was right, but just wanting to do anything. So I could have just pushed through and just been miserable, but instead I said, no, like that's not for me. That's not what I want to do. So let me figure out what it is that I do want to do. And so I pursued a whole bunch of different things. At this point I had racked up, let me see, like two student IDs at this point. So I was getting all the discounts, like that's great. But I still didn't feel any better. So I came home for the summer after spring semester at the university in Texas, and I felt, again, lost. I felt so lost, but I had a job already at an elementary school back home, and they let me come back, so I was like, yay. And over the summer they have a summer camp that they do, so I started working there. It was the best summer ever. It was so much fun. And I realized that maybe education is the route that I should be doing. I like love the time that I'm spending with the kids at the elementary school. Like, I just love being around them, their energy. I love making a difference. Like, they just made me feel like I had a purpose, which was always what I wanted. After that summer, it was about maybe 3 weeks before I was supposed to be headed back to Texas, and my parents sat me down and they just said, are you sure that this is what you want, that you want to go back to Texas for college? And I said, so glad that you asked me that, because no, like, I have been having the best summer ever. I love my job. I love where I think this could take me. So we packed up my stuff. We went back to Texas. We packed up my stuff, and I withdrew for the second time in my academic career, and I headed back home. And then I applied to a community college in my hometown and started an associate's degree in early childhood education. But it was so tough because in high school, it just wasn't a thing. It wasn't something that people strove for, to go to a community college. And like, I loved my time at the community college. Like, I think that it was perfect for me, for what I needed, for the time that I needed to do there. I thought that it was definitely, I made some awesome friends. I made some amazing experiences. I learned so much, but it was tough because I still felt that little voice in my head saying, like, really? Like, this is where you are? Do you see where everyone else is? You're at a community college, like, for real? And everyone else is at these big name universities, now in their, like, junior year, and you're still, like, getting your associate's degree. But I think that I've had to just come to the conclusion that it is what it is. I am still headed somewhere. I am still driven. I'm still motivated, and I am still going somewhere. Just because I had some setbacks, just because I had to learn a couple extra lessons that maybe other people didn't really have to go through, doesn't mean that I'm any less of a student, that I'm any less of a person because of that, because of what I've been through and the journey that I've taken, however long it's taken me. I feel like there's so much pressure to have this 10-year plan. Like, all right, so I'm gonna go to this school, I'm gonna study this, and then over the summer I'm gonna intern here and volunteer here, and then I'm gonna go to grad school. Like, it's just like we have to have everything planned out. But what I've learned is that's not practical. At least for me, it wasn't practical, because, you know, I needed that space and that room to figure it out and to find a peace about that journey, and not be so hard on myself. So I guess coming into 2019, I have finished 2 associate's degrees. I have a regular just associate's in arts, and then I have my associate's in early childhood education. I think that I'm going to the direction instead with psychology. So maybe being a child psychologist, maybe working as a school counselor, something like that. I'm not exactly sure what exactly I'm going to be doing, but I have applied to a university in my hometown. So I transferred schools for the 4th time and I start on Monday. I think that in 2020, I'm just going to be shedding that weight and that burden of trying to have it all together, because my journey is my journey. It's not this person's journey. It's not another person's journey. It's mine, and because of that, it's going to be different. It's going to be wobbly at times, and it's going to be imperfect, but it's going to be exactly what I needed it to be, you know? And I'm just choosing in 2020 to take what I've learned and take how long that it's taking me to get where I am and just be okay with it. So I hope that this resonated with you guys. I hope that if you've been through something similar, that that you have also come to this conclusion, that everyone has a different journey, everyone's college experience looks different, but that's okay. You know, you're gonna figure it out. Everything's gonna work out the way that it's supposed to, even if it takes you a little bit longer than the people around you. Like, that's fine. Take your time. You are young still. Like, I keep having to remind myself that I'm 21 years old. I'm gonna be 22 in May, and that's so young. I have so much time to figure everything out. There is no rush. And yeah, I just think that it's amazing, and I'm so excited and so happy, and I hope you guys have really high expectations for your 2020. I hope that all of your goals, all of your dreams come true this year, that you start working your way towards your ideal life, your dream goals. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.